Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me today. I do hope you're well. Here we are back in Ziran Zoo. This is our Asian themed natural habitat zoo. So big wild habitats for many creatures and animals to roam around in. In this case, or in our last episode's case, it was the Indian elephant. Built them a massive enclosure over here for them to roam around in. Today we are going to be filling in some gaps with some building. So this is our first sort of building episode, and it's all these gaps along here between the tiger habitat and the elephant habitat. I created this sort of double walkway with these cross-section paths coming in, joining the two up, and basically each of the gaps in the middle here I fill in with restaurants, cafes, toilets. So there we go, that's our basic plan for today. Oh, look at our little tigers over here. Oh, feeding time for the tigers. Nice. I love the little baby ones, they're so cute. That looks like most of them are here. I think there's 6 in here and we've got 5 altogether there. That's nice to see, isn't it? Wonder where the other one is. Sure, it won't be far away if it's feeding time. Right. Anyway, sorry. Back to today's episode. I can tell you that I'm going to zoom in a minute and show you the first of the buildings, which is down this hill here. So it presented a bit of an issue, obviously, because very irregular shapes, but also irregular landscaping as well. So bumps all over the place in this area. So yeah, I wanted the challenge of trying to make each section have a different style of restaurant or cafe or whatever. So I think I like the result. I'm very happy with it. So let me show you what I did in the first area, which is right down the bottom here. Let me show you from the air first. So there we go. So this is our first building. So this is a very long, thin area that I needed to fill in here, and obviously it's the same theme. So it's the stone wall and then this same clay roof with the same edging and trim on it. And it's a very simple building with a few cafes basically around the outside. So there's one there, there's another one there, we've got one here, we've got one here, and we've got one here. So yeah, so there's and some toilets, of course, some toilets in here as well. So basically, yeah, so I plonked them down and now I built the building around them. You know, tried to design it, put these extra little bits on the outside here to try and, you know, just give it a bit of extra texture and design. You know, putting these angled pieces next to the yeah. So putting these angled pieces like this. The way I did that was to actually have another bit of wall. Let's go inside. So when you put these 2 bits of wall together here and here, it creates this brickwork on the outside here. So by having this bit of wall inside, even though it's hidden, it makes this bit look better. So if I just destroy that now, you'll see the difference. You see? So if you don't have that extra piece of wall in there, this bit of wall doesn't create that nice edge, whereas if you put it back in, you get this lovely curved brickwork here. You know, little things like that make a lot of difference. It just adds an extra bit of design to the building, makes it a bit more interesting. And then it was just a case of going around and just filling in all the gaps basically with, again, simple foliage. So you've got these lovely Japanese cherry blossom trees, the ferns. The ground is all this sort of, it's called soft soil, I think it is, but actually it looks more like sort of bark and fallen leaves. But yeah, so that's what I've got in there. So there's no grass. Grass wouldn't grow very well in little areas like that. So ferns. This bit here, I decided it was a bit too big just to have a tree in it. So I put in a water fountain. I used my path technique again to get some gravel in there, and then just lined it with some rocks. Got a nice big tree on the outside there. More ferns, more trees, more ferns. Very, very simple. You know, just keeping the theme going all the way around basically. And then at this end again, another water fountain with the gravel effect again, and some rocks. And then I just extended the roof out this side as well. I just wanted to do something a bit different, so just brought the roof out and put some of these support pillars in here just to give this end just a slightly different look as well, and provide just a little bit of shelter as well. You know, if it's raining, whatever, people can sort of gather under here and try and stay out of the rain a bit. So yeah, really simple. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated, these things. Not everything needs to be designed sort of over designed. I mean, take this triangle here. It's just a simple soil area with a tree in the middle. It really doesn't need any more than that. If the zoo is well maintained, then it's not going to have any weeds in it, and that really is all it needs. So yeah, there we go. So that's our first segment filled in, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go. So there'll be 5 more segments in this video, I can tell you, because one for each of these, I believe, is how I did it. So let's load up the next one, shall we, and see what I did next. Right, here's our next building. So again, it's just a fairly simple building, similar design, with a few cafes in. It's hard to come up with something different each time, but I think I've done it okay, actually. So in this case, I've done a bit of a funky roof, so I've given it this extra sort of platform up here with a little what is this? It's a lantern of some sort, isn't it? Yeah, so you've got this little lantern, given the roofs these extra peaks as well on the top here, just to make them a little bit different to the other ones. Just makes it stand out, just look a little bit different. All the foliage and everything is very similar, just the cherry blossom trees and the ferns. You've got toilets in here. Something a bit different here. I didn't want to just do the same. I don't mind doing the same sort of gravel effect with the rocks around it, but I didn't want to just do a water feature in each one. So this one's got these lovely 3 little monkey statues in, and a palm as well. And then round here I've just sort of created this little scenes, a few sort of traditional Chinesey tools, I suppose, pots and things. Yeah, almost like they've just created a scene just to highlight sort of ancient Chinese equipment, I suppose is the word, that sort of thing. It's the sort of thing that you do see in various places where they show you old equipment and just sort of highlight this is the sort of thing that was used 200 years ago to build this building, or to transport food around, or to feed the animals or whatever. But other than that, it's a fairly straightforward design, this one. Yeah, really nothing too different, but again, just filling in the gap that I had available, and just interesting shape to the building as well. Just trying to vary it up each time I do one of these, just trying to mix up the shape of the building. I think this one looks pretty cool with this extra bit on top. It's just something a bit different, isn't it? And obviously that's what I attempt to do in each of these. In fact, by the time I get to the end, it changes quite a lot, actually. They're not just I didn't want each of these just to be one building that fills it up. So as I get further down to the end here, you end up with multiple buildings in each area. But we'll get to that soon. Let's move on to this one, shall we? This one was probably the hardest to design, purely because it's on such a big slope. So I had to come up with something quite creative for this one, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really cool. So let me load that up. So yeah, this one ended up really good. I'm very happy with how it turned out, but it was a bit more of a tricky build, this one, because I really had to create a raised area for people to come and stand on, because it was on such a slope. There's no way I could do pathways actually on it, so I created this small staircase at the side, and then it comes up to a raised platform here. And yeah, I just made it look a bit different. I think the building itself, as you can see, obviously it comes back into here, and the roof pretty much goes into the ground here, but I didn't mind that. It was just something a little bit different. I thought about creating a higher building here, but it just didn't feel necessary. I had no problem with it looking like the building just goes backwards and into the ground. And obviously these ones over here are very square, and so I thought this was a good opportunity to add a bit of shape to the building, so which is why I've gone for these lovely round shapes at the front here, and this nice one here with the tree at the front as well. I just think they look really nice, just something a bit different, but continuing the same theme with the same stonework. And then originally I didn't have this this sort of archway bit in here, and it looked a little bit too open, so I just put some of these archways in, put the red wood along the top, and I thought it just finished it off. Actually made it look really nice. Allowed me to hang these lanterns in here as well, and then I managed to get a couple of picnic tables in, and a couple of benches as well, and some bins, and then just some ferns in the flower beds here and around the front, and the same Japanese maple, the cherry blossom trees as well. Just gave this a little entranceway arch here as well, and obviously you just got your 2 restaurant places in there. So yeah, really simple, but actually I think it's probably the best one so far out of the 3, probably my favourite one anyway. I think it looks pretty good at night actually. Let me have a double check of that. How do the lanterns look at night? Yeah, see, those lanterns look really cool actually, don't they? They really brighten the place up. So that'd be a nice little place to sit down in the evening, wouldn't it? If you were sitting down in here, you could look over here and see the elephants. You could, I don't know. Actually, at the moment you can't see much because there's not a habitat here, but there will be eventually. And you know, you can see stuff in the distance. I don't know. I think it'd be a nice little place to sit down in the evening and have a little meal. Alright, let's get the sunshine back. There we go. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about that one. I mean, it really was straightforward, really. Just a little bit trickier, I suppose. But once I'd got the idea in my head of having the raised platform, the rest just sort of came together and built itself. Really, it wasn't too bad at all. This next one, I believe, this one is something a little bit different. I think I was struggling to be creative at this point, and then I had a couple of ideas, so I can't remember if it's this one and this one, or if it's this one, or I don't know. I'll load it up and we'll find out. But I know one of these coming up is something a little bit different to the other 3 at least. Let's have a look. Ooh, yeah, okay, so this one became something really quite epic. This wasn't the one I was thinking of. I actually totally forgotten that I built this one. That's how long it's been since I did these. Oh, actually, it's not been that long. It just shows that my memory is shocking. But yeah, I decided to do like a temple type thing. And this was quite a complicated build, trying to get all the pathways to work, because the pathways, they're all usable. So the path comes in, it goes around the outside down the bottom here, and obviously back out this side as well. But then you've also got the staircase that comes in here. It goes up onto this first level where you have a restaurant in here. It then comes all the way around the outside here where you have another restaurant, and then it goes up another flight of stairs here where you then have another restaurant here, and the pathway goes all the way around that bit as well. So yes, it was quite tricky, and then building all of the structure around it, but I think it's turned out pretty nicely. I liked this idea of using these eaves as a sort of a building on their own. You know, usually you just have these attached to the outsides of the larger pieces, but actually if you just use them, just an eave on each side like that, and then you put the little ridge piece in the middle, it creates a roof on its own. So I was really happy when I came up with that idea. That worked out really nicely. And then just some basic decorations. You've got the lovely red wood and the red decorations along here. You've got a couple of the round pieces here and there as well. And then it was just a case of just filling it all in with all the different bits of rock work as well, with these little walls down here and here, just filling in gaps and stuff. And then we've got out here, we have a large gravel area with a big rock in the middle. That's it's something you see a lot in China and Japan, is these sort of Zen gardens where there's no plants, there's no water, it's just rocks. And it's the way that the rocks are arranged, they mean things, you know, they have spiritual meanings and that sort of stuff. So that was the idea there. We've got one of these lovely dragon pieces here. What is it? A lion guard. These are great. So you've got one of them there at that entrance. Come around here. You've just got the ferns and the cherry blossom trees. You've got a little selection of Chinese pots there. And then around this side, had quite a lot of space on each side here. So I created these sort of rivers of gravel. Again, this is just, you know, a little pathway that comes in here, but it's you then surround it with the rocks, and it just looks like a river of gravel. And it doesn't need anything in it. It is what it is. It's just a river of gravel, and there's one of them on each side. and there's a little couple of pandas in here. These little statues look fantastic, so I thought that'd be a nice little thing to have in here, just for you know, as people walk through this area, just to be greeted by a couple of adorable looking panda statues. And then round here you've got another one of these lovely carts. These things are great, actually. They're lovely pieces. It is just an East Asian cart, and it doesn't really do anything, but it looks great. It's a fantastic looking piece, particularly in this sort of Asian themed area. So yeah, there we go. That was probably the longest one to build out of them all, actually. I think this one. I also just did this little triangle here with again, cherry blossom and a few ferns. But yeah, I think this probably took me, I think it was over an hour, I would say, to build this piece. Yeah, it was fun. It was a challenge, but it was good fun, and ultimately I was pretty happy with how it turned out. There's still a few little pieces, like you've got the pathway here. You can just see this bit of wood along the edge. It's so hard to get all of these building pieces lined up properly. Yeah, you just can't always do it. In fact, on this side, you can see here I've put extra bits of wall in here. This piece here, and that is because the pathway, if I delete that, the pathway is sticking out quite a lot on this side. So all of these pieces along here, you can see they're all just hiding the pathway that was sticking out there. I just couldn't adjust the building enough to hide the pathway, so sometimes you just have to come up with creative ideas like that, and it doesn't look too obvious, does it, that there's an extra piece of wall there. I think I've just about get away with that one. In fact, look, I've forgotten to put one there. I meant to do that all the way along, and I've forgotten. Never mind. I'll have to go back and add that in, unless I'll have a look when I load up my next save point for the next area. I'll come back and have a look, see if I actually remembered to put that in afterwards or not. I can't quite remember if I did, but I'll come back in a minute and have a look. But this next area, this is the one I was thinking of. So this building here is a different sort of building. And in fact, the last one is as well. So let me load that up and we'll take a look. So this one is a large food court. So let's go around the outside first. Not much to see here, really. A collection of trees and ferns as usual. All the way around the outside of the building I have done rock work. And again, it was something I just wanted it to look a little bit different, but also it was filling in some gaps there. The way the ground went with the building, you ended up with a few gaps here and there. It didn't look very good, so I decided to just do some rocks all the way around the outside. Plus these pillars as well, in fact. They weren't necessary, but I just wanted to do something like along this wall here. It's a very big blank wall. So just to do something that makes it look a little bit different, makes it stand out from the rest, do the rocks and then just do these pillars, and it just makes it look a bit nicer. And we have two entrances to the food court, one on each side, but I'll continue around the outside first. Again, we have just a small selection of trees around here. So there's no what's the word I'm looking for? Restaurants on the outside. They're all on the inside in this case. You've got a little area here. This the roof was interesting. Where I brought the roof out quite wide, I had to come in here and put these stone pieces at the top here to fill in the gaps, and so I used that as an opportunity to put some lighting on some of these pieces here. So it does look quite cool, actually. Oh, excuse the dodgy camera work there. I don't know what happened there. I'll show you the lighting at the end. So we come into the food court here, and it's pretty straightforward, really. It's a similar sort of design, of course. Picnic tables and benches. I've used both type, this lovely stone one as well as this sort of wooden looking one. Excuse me, I'm just about to cough. Do apologise. And then we've got the restaurants, of course, around the inside. Again, using that same technique with the walls, where we have a wall piece here and then a wall piece which comes in like this, you see at the back here, which obviously you can't see from the outside, but it creates this lovely oh dear, dodgy camera again. It creates this lovely effect here with the angled stonework there. And occasionally I've just sort of made a round edge as well, again just to create a new shape, you know, something a bit different. got these lovely flower beds that I created. These very simple, again, just simple squares of stone, and the pillars, and some compost, and these lovely big lipstick palms. Look at this. I mean, it's such a fantastic looking plant. So I just created that and then just copied it over. So I've got 3 of them in here. A few little lanterns hanging around, lots of coffee tables and little lanterns as well, bins, benches, little cafe in every corner sort of thing, plenty of seating areas, and again under here you've got the sort of stone roof with the lighting on as well. So let's zoom out. So there we go. So that one was a bit different because it was a courtyard as opposed to one big solid building, and I think it looks really nice actually. I'm very pleased with how that one turned out. Let me just show you nighttime. See, it all just glows a bit. I love the lighting in this game. It is fantastic. You know, this looks very welcoming, doesn't it? You'd want to just wander in there and see what's going on. But I liked being able to put the lights on the outside here as well. Not covering the whole of the outside, but just so you've got this glow coming from all these little sort of nooks and crannies of the building. Nothing along the back there. And in fact nothing around this side either. So it's just, yeah, just the odd little bit here and there, but on the whole it's not overly lit. I didn't want it to be too bright. These lanterns are cool. I love these pieces, they're great. I wish they made a sort of a non-Asian version of this actually, just a generic lantern that hangs that you could colour whatever colour you wanted. That would be a really nice piece to have. You could use it in all sorts of different themes then, but never mind. Make do with what we've got, don't we? Right, let's get it back to daytime. There we go. So yeah, oh, look at our little lion. No tiger, sorry, having a run around. Possibly watching people over there thinking, oh, breakfast. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, you can have a play with your little toy? Yeah. Oh, he just kicked it away and run off. Okay. Oh yeah, much more fun to play with each other. Anyway, right, so there we go. Look at this, coming along. I mean, I was really pleased with how all these buildings turned out, and they kind of fill the gaps in quite nicely. I thought that maybe only this one is a little bit over the top for a zoo. You'd never find this in a zoo, let's be honest. These other ones are fairly realistic, I think. You know, these are just normal buildings. This one is mental. This would never be built in real life anywhere. Never mind just a zoo. This just wouldn't happen. But you know what? I don't care. It's a game. If I want to be daft and over the top, then why not? I had fun with it. That's what matters, and that's what life's all about at the end of the day, isn't it? Having fun. So yeah, there we go. This one is cool. This is much more realistic. This one, crazy. This one, realistic. Yeah, and the next one as well. So this is our last one. So let's move on and find our last one. So this one, again, it was a really big area, and I didn't want to just do one big building. So this one has quite a few small buildings in it, and quite a lot more pathways, in fact. And yeah, so let me load it up, and I can show you what I did. Well, before we move on, I just want to show you. I did remember to put that last bit of brick wall in here, stone wall. Sorry. Yes, I just had to come back. I forgot. I mean, I told you I was about to come back and look at this. Excuse me. In the last segment, and I forgot. And that was about 10 seconds after I said it. That just shows you how bad my memory is, honestly. Absolutely appalling. But yes, obviously I had remembered to come back and fill that bit of stone in. Anyway, off we go. So over our courtyard, this is what we saw in our last segment, and into our final area. And I'm going to show you from the air first. I'm pretty happy with this one, actually. It's turned out really nice. So yeah, so it was such a big area, I didn't want to just do another big building, so I thought I would split it up. And so the first thing I did was lay out some pathways, and I didn't have these round areas in here, I just had some pathways. But then I thought, well, let's put some round bits in, and we can actually have some little sort of picnic areas, and then the gaps will be filled in with the restaurants. So that's what I did. So I just put these round areas in. The issue that I have is that this end bit is on quite a slope, and so the picnic tables can go here, but they can't come in here because it's on an angled slope. Obviously an angled slope, you can't have a flat slope, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean, though. And then around here, you see, it's all on an angle, and so you can't put picnic benches down, which is fine. It's a shame. I wanted picnic benches in all of them, but I was not going to do re-landscaping just so I could get these flat. That is not what I wanted to spend my time doing. I was more than happy just going with what the terrain was, and just having picnic benches on the ones that I could. And obviously, I just copied these flower beds over from inside our courtyard over here, and then I just put a restaurant in each bit. So let's go around each one and just briefly show you what I've done. I tried to keep each area a little bit different. So we have our little restaurants. They're fairly generic. They're basically the same building repeated. So they're just like you get in zoos. You just get these little huts that are selling various bits of food. So very simple design, making use of this pre-made roof, which is kind of cool. So I didn't mind doing that. So this one it's got a little statue in the corner and just a nice selection of rocks. Obviously they've all got the ferns and they've all got the cherry blossoms in, so I'm not going to comment on them every single time. Coming around here again, we have just some rocks, and we have a small gravel garden here with a little monkey statue sitting in the middle of some rocks. Yeah, cool, great fun. I love those little monkey statues, and another one of these nice dragon or lion statues on the corner there. This one here, I was really happy with this one. I made a little pond here, so you've got these lovely mossy rocks that look really good around water. We got some reeds in here. We got a nice rock in the middle with a lantern on it, and then I've filled up the pond, pretty much covered it over completely with 2 different types of lily as well. I thought that looked really nice, having that really nice and full up. And you'd probably have a few fish swimming around in there, but unfortunately fish don't exist in the game, so I couldn't do that. You have to use your imagination for that. But yeah, I thought that was something a bit different to do in there. And this one over here, let's have a look. Yeah, so again, just a little selection of rocks with a monkey statue, nothing too fancy, but you've got 2 restaurants in one area there, and then the rest of it is fairly simple and straightforward, not much going on. Same again here, just a nice selection of rocks in that one there. And finally you've got this one here. This is again just something a little bit different. I didn't want to just do another pile of rocks, so I just created a little sort of backdrop here for a nice panda statue. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, it's not significant in any way. It is what it is. It's just a little display. You know, not everything has to have some deep meaning. It is what it is. So there we go. Yeah, that's what I came up with for this area, and I'm really happy with this one actually. I think it looks really nice having all these little pathways in amongst here. I think if this was real, then it'd be quite a nice little food court area to walk around and sit down. You know, you can lean up against the fences and eat your lunch and whatever, and obviously sit down on your picnic tables. Or you could just grab your food from here and go and stand along the fences here and look at the elephants, or come over this side and look at the tigers. So yeah, there we go. So that was a lot of fun. It took me a long time to do all of that because building these buildings is quite time consuming. But I'm very happy with how that all turned out, and I'm probably going to do more of this stuff because I'm going to be doing a habitat. I think I'll aim to get another habitat in here somewhere around this sort of hillside here, and so I may end up with some more buildings maybe here. If I do another sort of double pathway here, I may end up with some more buildings here. Don't know what I'll do around the back because it's not going to be a massive zoo. This is basically going to be the edge of the zoo. I'm not going to be building out here. I'm only building enough habitats as there is areas already done with terrain. So there's going to be one here, and then probably just 3, maybe 4 more over here. And that'll be it. And then all the gaps basically are going to be filled in with buildings and stuff like that. So it's not going to be a massive project. I mean, physically it's going to be quite big, but it's not going to be that many episodes, I don't think, to actually get this finished. But there may well be some more buildings, certainly in little gaps like this, depending on how I sort of connect up pathways and things. And then around here, so this is going to be the next project, this one over here. So this is going to be a huge lake with various different animals in. I've actually done this one already. I haven't recorded it yet, but I have just about, I think, finished building this area. So it's a huge lake with 3 or 4 different types of animal, and a large walkway coming all the way across the island in the middle as well. So that's a pretty cool habitat. But again, the pathway is sort of along the edge here, so I've got this big gap between the pathways. So I don't know, I'm not going to do building sort of cafes in every gap, because that would just be silly and I'll just run out of ideas. So a lot of the gaps in the middle will probably just be filled in with some trees. But yeah, we'll see. And bits like this at the end, I'm not sure what I'll be doing here. There may be another pathway possibly coming in around like this, and then maybe just some sort of woodland bit in the middle. And then eventually I'll try and come up with something to do around the actual edge of the zoo as well. But again, that may just be foliage. It may just be a line of trees all the way around the outside of the zoo. Not too sure yet. So yeah, there we go. So that's this episode. I'm going to keep it on a nice aerial view there, so you can see the entire project as it came together all the way along. Now, I'm very happy with how it turned out. Please do let me know what you think. Whether you're enjoying this zoo so far. I've had a lot of fun. It's something a bit different to all my other projects. So yeah, I'm certainly enjoying doing it. So please do let me know. If you've liked the video, then please do hit the like button. That would be a massive help to the channel. Obviously, the more people I get watching, the better. Really, I don't get huge amounts of comments or anything, and I do welcome feedback, whether it's positive or negative. And the more people I get watching my videos, obviously the more communication I have, and the better sort of community we can build up as well, which I'm really excited about. Actually, that's sort of one of the reasons why I'm creating this channel, is that sort of community spirit that you can share with each other. And yeah, so hitting the like button just helps get the video out to more people, so that's really good. Obviously you don't have to, though. You do whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. Right, so yes, hopefully you have enjoyed it, and hopefully you can join me again very soon. So thank you for being here with me today. I do hope you stay well, stay safe, look after yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye for now.